Hi everyone, this is Karma with Onward Studios. In this video, I want to show you a feature of Photoshop where you can merge images together. So if you want to create a panoramic image, so an image that's much wider than high, you can take photos from your camera, take photos of the panoramic view, shooting it at different angles. So standing in one spot but shooting it at different angles. And you want to overlap one image to the other just a bit, so Photoshop has something to match the sequence of images together. So what I'm going to show you here is I took an image of an Iowa cornfield, of all things, and I was standing in one place, but I shot it to the left a bit, and then in front of me, and then to the right. And as I took those three images, each time I would overlap just a bit of an image from the previous image. So I'm going to open up those images. I'm sorry, I'm not going to do it that way. Because I want to merge these together, I'm going to go to the File option of Photoshop and choose an Automate. That gives me a drop-down. I'm going to choose the last option there called Photo Merge. This brings up a dialog box where I can go open the photos or select the photos that I want to merge together. So I'm going to click on Browse. I'm going to choose these three images that I know are related or are part of this sequence of images that I took. Now they are in sequential order, but that doesn't matter. Photoshop determines based on the content, especially of the edges, of how they're going to align these images together. By the way, this option up here says Use Files, which let me then go out and browse. If you have an entire folder of those images that you want to put together, you can choose the folder option and then go select the folder. I'm going to keep the option down here to blend images together. Keep that turned on. I'm also going to turn on the geometric distortion correction. It gives me a little bit better picture. It's a little more, I want to say, a fuller picture than if that was not turned on. You certainly don't have to turn that on. In fact, you can experiment and see which option, whether this is turned on or off, gives you the best results. I'm going to click OK. Before I do that, actually, there's different options over here. I usually just go with auto, so Photoshop can decide the best option from that column of left on the left side. After I click OK, it goes out. It's going to open each of the images and then place them in a file together. So you're going to see layers here in your Layers panel of each of those images. And I only had 3 images selected, so we only see 3 layers. And then it starts lining them up as we see in the thumbnails here. And then it creates what we call a mask that kind of masks out the parts of the image that are the same as one of the adjacent images. And the end result is we have this great panoramic image of 3 camera shots, or three images into one. After it's merged the images together, then you want to crop this image to get rid of the transparency around the perimeter of this panoramic image. This happens because they've aligned the images, so you are going to get some extra space on the sides and especially above and below the image. So you can use a crop tool to crop it, or you can also, I'm going to show you another way to crop it. I'm going to use a rectangle marquee tool and just make a selection within this area, like so. So I'm keeping it inside the area, but getting as much as possible. Made that selection. I'm going to tweak this a bit by going up to the Select from the main menu and choose Transform Selection. That gives me these handles where I can actually change a selection a bit. This is a really handy feature with using any of the selection tools, because oftentimes you don't get the selection just right, and if you try to fix it, it's going to wipe out your original selection. So selecting the Transform Selection off the Select option of the main menu is very handy. So I've made this about as large as I can get it and still get everything, and without any transparency. I'm going to hit Enter to accept that selection. So I have to do that first, so I still have this bounding box happening without the handles. And then there's an option off the Image menu called Crop. And it will crop it based on the selection I just made. I'm going to Control D or Command D to get rid of that selection. And there's our 3 images now merged together. So that's how you can do a panoramic image of multiple images seamed or stitched together. Again, that option is underneath the File option of the main menu, Automate, and then the Photo Merge option under Automate.